Is Michael Hicks. I am your host today. And today, before we get into the topic, I want to give you a word from our sponsors. Unlock your true full potential with Live to Thrive coaching. Are you ready to transform your life one step at a time? At Live to Thrive, we believe in the power of small, consistent improvements. Our unique framework focuses on becoming 1% better in mind, body, and soul every single day. What we offer is the mind, where you develop a growth mindset, enhance your mental clarity, and conquer challenges with confidence. The body piece embraces a healthier lifestyle, boost your energy levels, and achieve your fitness goals. And soul, which I call purpose, discover your true purpose. Cultivate inner peace by building that spirituality walk and live in a fulfilling, balanced life. As a dedicated life coach of nearly 25 years of experience, I will guide you on your journey to personal excellence, helping you overcome obstacles and reaching new heights. Together, we create a customized plan tailored to your unique needs and techniques. Join Live to Thrive today and start living your best purposeful life. You can contact us now or schedule a free consultation by visiting www.livetothrive.com. Can't sleep? Got the aches and pains? Unlock better sleep and pain relief with CBD oil. And guess what? It's Amish tested. Struggling with sleepless nights or constant aches and pains? The premium CBD oil, tested and trusted by the Amish community, is your solution for natural relief and restful nights. Now check this out. We got a special offer for Framing New Heights listeners only. For a limited time, receive 50% off at checkout with the promo code New Heights. All words together. And why choose CBD oil? It's Amish tested, proven quality and effectiveness, better sleep, say goodbye to restless nights, and hello to peaceful slumber. Pain relief, soothaches, and pains naturally add effectively, perhaps change that pain relief. Don't miss out. Visit envitamins.com and use promo code New Heights at checkout to claim your 50% discount. So let's dive in today and really hone in on what I want to call is resentment is the love killer. And I've experienced a lot of this in my personal growth, my personal journey, and I've also dealt a lot with this with my clients as well. Without exaggeration, resentment is familiar to everyone. We can all agree to that. It's a normal human reaction to unjust treatment that brings, you know what? Disappointment, bitterness, and even pain. How many of you are like, oh yeah, you're spot on, Michael? I'll give you an example. So let's say you're doing something, you're at a store, a shop assistant is just rude to us, or maybe a driver just cuts us off the road, or a boss unfairly evaluates our work performance. What do? We automatically get more angered, we are offended, and then it's really then hard to question it. So let me kind of give you the idea of what you can do. You can immediately refuse to be insulted. You can immediately can refuse to be insulted. So there's something called the unoffendable life. And for all of us, this is much needed, and this is the reason why I do what I do with my clients, is I provide an unoffendable life, which means basically choosing not to take offense to the words and actions of others. With humor and insights, especially from a Christian perspective, maybe the Bible, if we are able to use forgiveness, grace, it's a more peaceful approach. Now, you don't need to get anger to do the right thing because love can counteract injustice. So we enjoy being offended to some extent. And here's why: because it gives us a sense of moral superiority, right? We sincerely believe that it is right to be angry and do not even suspect that we are falling into the trap of, guess what? Prejudice. So refusing to be offended takes a lot of work, and you can only generally accomplish this through a qualified coach. But it will, however, change your life. Now, anger is extraordinarily easy to do. It's one of the most easy emotions we have. And it's kind of like our default setting for our emotions, because love is very difficult. Interesting, right? Love is what I call a miracle. Now, we can swap the need to be right for the chance in that moment, that particular moment in life. However, if we shift the focus away from ourselves, we notice that the world has always existed, but might overlook what I call becoming angry. Now, stick with me here. In essence, we always have a choice to be guided by the rage or love. And even if resentment gets the better of us, we can remind ourselves of who we are and take back control. Don't allow someone else to take away your control, your power. We control the controllables. So let's learn how to use the superpower to change our lives today. Now, this segment I call is See the World as It Is, you guys. One of the reasons why we are so easily offended nowadays is our naive belief that the world, drum roll please, is flawless. And often without even realizing, we hope for sunny weather and for people to be more kind to us. In fact, this is some of the simple prayers that my daughter talks about before I tuck her in at night. Like deep disappointment really sets in when these hopes get dashed. And here's what I mean. We create unrealistic expectations of others and suffer when they do not meet these attainable standards. But what if we change the lens for a second and look at the world more realistically? The truth is that it's far from perfect, you guys. We are imperfectly perfect. The world is as well, because we have things of like wars, accidents, conflicts, natural disasters. They're just part of our existence. Now, although these occurrences frequently are part of even daily news, which stop watching, don't even do that, they accept that such turmoil is inherent and part of the world is difficult. So unfortunately, it is full of danger, you guys. But it doesn't mean there's no place for joy or peace. Here's a big thing. Gratitude. Gratitude is essential because it gives us grace, and these are not the rules, but the exceptions that make the world a better, more wonderful place. Now, we can appreciate all the good things when we accept that we do not live in a beautiful utopia and that a bad or cruel things might happen. Because someone, at some point in our lives, you guys, someone's going to cut us off the road and let us jump the line in a store for no reason. It's going to happen. And in fact, that just happened to me recently. I was shopping and I was in one lane and I quickly ran over to the other lane and the guy was right there and he's like, "Go ahead of us." And I was like, "You're cool. Thank you." So when we let go of hopes of exceptional treatment, we can truly rejoice when it occurs. All right? By accepting an inevitability of human error, we can develop empathy and compassion, recognizing that we too are imperfect. Let me grab a drink of water here. So seeing the world as it allows us to navigate life's challenges more effectively, instead of thinking about how things should be, let's begin to focus on finding solutions to the problems. Being a longtime educator, if I ever had a problem with something, I would not bring the problem to my superior, my principal. superintendent, whatever it might be. I brought the problem with a solution. Not just one, but several solutions. And when we do that, we become more adaptable, we become more resilient in facing adversity. And then if this is done repeatedly over and over, you develop a term called anti-fragility. And knowing that perfection is not our goal, friends. Now, adopting a realistic perspective also improves our relationships. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about that because that's really what I've been honing in on recently with several of my new clients is the relationships piece. Because when we stop demanding flawlessness from others, we free them from the burden of unrealistic expectations, fostering an environment of understanding and acceptance. In turn, we create more authentic connections because we value you guys and love people for who they truly are. Now, looking at the world with an unclouded vision, we discover beauty hidden in its flaws, right? You guys know this. After a big snowstorm, if you live in the Midwest like I do, when the snow hits the trees, it's a really beautiful view. And even though we hate shoveling, but it's a beautiful thing. We also create space for sincere and childlike joy. Have you ever experienced childlike joy? And why haven't you? Because even from the small gifts of life, when we cultivate the term gratitude, instead of being disappointed by the world's imperfections, we consciously give up false hopes and relish life here and now. Now, I'm going to transition into the next segment. And here's how I deal with this ongoing in scenarios of my personal life. And here's how to really overcome self-righteousness, right? So we may have someone that is part of our life that we may call self-righteous, right? Thinking we are better than others is part of the actual human anatomy and human nature. And here's what I mean. Because of inherent self-centeredness, we believe we know what is right and doubt others' ideas. Is that you? Are we connecting here? We would rather blame our opponent than admit to our mistakes. Let's ponder that for a second. Is growth happening during that time? Do you live in resentment, anger, hostility? Because this reluctance to question our rightness and accept another's point of view misleads us and gives us rise to, guess what? Anger and resentment. And you live that life. That life is full of shit. So you're constantly stepping in it, smelling it. It's disgusting. So if we are wrong, and many of us we are wrong, right? From the cutoff early in the morning to spilling the coffee, whatever it might be, if we truly feel that we are wrong, research shows that if we adjust reality to fit our biases, let me go in a little bit over on this. So the tendency is dependent of our IQ because according to a study by Yale law professor, I think his name was Dan Kahn, people skilled at math find it challenging to solve problems when the correct answer conflicts. You guys ready for this? Conflicts with their political views. And wow, are we in one right now? A lot of political drama, things happening in the United States right now. And it means we become so entrenched in our beliefs that we refuse to acknowledge errors, even when they're glaringly evident, you guys. How many of you struggle with that? Like, gosh, why doesn't this person says they are this type of person? Because they're in their moment, guys. They don't want to acknowledge their errors because it doesn't go in beliefs on who they truly internally are. And here's the thing, prejudice form the bias of our worldview and protect us from the pain and disappointment. Abandoning them means destroying our reality. And many of us are scared or fearful. We don't want to do that. Ultimately, it frightens us and makes us cling even more to those illusions. Thus, resentment is hard to get rid of. Now, let me kind of talk about this for a second. We believe what we hear first when there are two sides of the story. Did you hear what I just said? Because self-righteousness is sometimes common among religious people who often evaluate others' morality. Now, on the other side, I've learned that imposing subjective rules on people does not inspire them to follow our beliefs, but it only repels them. On the contrary, openness to different viewpoints makes people actually listen to us. I don't want to get too religious on you right now, but I'm a practicing Christian, and I want to talk a little bit about this. If we just use the example, now just bear with me on this example. If we just use the example of follow Jesus. If we say that, we renounce our superiority to finally hear others and stories and love them no matter their beliefs. Doesn't matter their beliefs. By giving up self-righteousness, we can move beyond our usual perspectives and see the multifaceted nature of the world. Here's the key piece. Accepting our vulnerability and powerlessness, we can empathize with others' struggles and victories. We will no longer be judges of others, but fellow travelers to life's journey. So instead of desperately beginning to prove ourselves right, we can finally breathe and enjoy our differences. Because even though we may feel humiliated, how many of you like that? I feel humiliated, disrespected, rejected. It helps us grow with our life, with spirituality, with what I call purpose. So when we lay down the mantle, you guys, I guess, for lack of words, of self-righteousness, we build bridges of understanding that unite us. And when we're united, we're stronger together. Now, are there always going to be people that don't want to be reunited? Yes. It's because they live this life. And they live a life that they don't want to show their vulnerabilities or their strengths. And when we actually have the understanding and build bridges of understanding and then unite us in our shared vulnerabilities and strengths, we generally build a bond, you guys. We build a bond to discover the power of genuine empathy that can heal us, transform us, and build the reality that we want. And when you get to that point, you will feel fulfilled. If you are not at that point, make sure to check out www.livethethrive.com. As I get into my next segment here, here's how to practice humility, because this kind of goes with the entire piece and become what I call a servant leader with a quality heart. The paradox of humility, let's talk about that, is often seen as a weakness, especially in the United States, and maybe just in human nature. And when it is a source of strength and inspiration, humility does not diminish our value, but rather what it does, it enhances it. By putting aside our ego and adopting a servanthood mindset, we put the needs of others before our own. And I know that's hard because we live in a society of, I got to get mine. Mine's first. Me. It gives us a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment as we contribute positively to the lives of others around us. This is why I do what I do. I have the ability that God has given me to provide value to other people. That's my servitude to them. because a servant's heart enables us to be more attentive. It allows us to be more caring and leads us to have deeper and more meaningful connections, especially with others. Speaking of that, my circle of trust is tiny. Why? Because they're meaningful connections. I really have honed in and really marinated those connections with others. And instead of seeking recognition or praise, you don't need that. Find joy in a selfless service and making a difference in someone else's lives today. I want to give you an example of a story that I want to kind of share with you, where they were really able to put aside their prejudice and accepted others for who they are. And this person bought a building that had previously hosted an exhibition benefiting AIDS research. And the intention was to convert it into a place for Christian music and sermons. And this move had the potential to ignite, really, a culture war. The exhibit organizer thought they'd have to look for a new place for their particular project. But this person said they would still do it in this building. Moreover, they offered to treat everyone to food and coffee. So check this out. Although the AIDS-related art may have offended some people, maybe because of beliefs, maybe values, whatever it might have been, this person did not let that get the better of them. Because what they did is they showed genuine love to all of the neighbors and people around them. Humans versus objects, I often say. He also wanted people to feel at home at this specific coffee shop, no matter who they were or what they truly believed. And it worked. Guess what? People who were far from religious listened to the stories about Jesus and retaining yet their own beliefs. You see the commonality there? You see how you can come together? And I want to transition into my next segment here, is resentment is a love killer. And I got that from Amber Dobson. And that will resonate with me until my day on this earth is no longer. And I want to talk about humility, and a servant's heart also helps us to be open to learning and growth. So do you have a servant's heart? Are you open to humility? We become more receptive to new perspectives and ideas when we are not attempting to prove ourselves. Accepting others as they are, we transcend our desires and contribute to something greater than ourselves, you guys. An act of selfless service allows us to rise above our egos, drives our concerns, and experiences the profound fulfillment of positively impacting lives of others. And in this self-transcendence, we can find genuine strength and purpose. Our Heavenly Creator understands the hidden motives of others and especially ourselves. And I pray often in my situation, in which I don't want to get too personal about some of the things, but it's just why the resentment? Why the anger or the hostility built inside? Our Creator knows everybody's hidden motives, you guys, and especially ourselves. We often don't even know it. We don't even know it. We believe that we can judge others' intentions, but we are mistaken. Know that justice, you guys, does not require anger or resentment. There's a widespread belief that we need anger to take action in a fight for what's right. No, you're missing the point. We believe that rage motivates and drives us to change the world. No, we're missing the point. Here's what challenges us. The most common misconception advocates for more measured and compassionate approach to justice. drawing a line between anger and action. There's research that contradicts his rage motivational power. Here's what I mean. People who are highly active online about meaningful situations are not inclined to take real action. For example, they are vigorously participant in discussions about the need to sort garbage out, but in reality, they do nothing to achieve their specific goals. Expressing our opinions to a large audience, what does it do? It makes us feel like we have already done something significant to solve the problem when you've done nothing. So recognize and encourage others that maybe have anger. Let me say that again. Encourage us to recognize that anger does not guarantee effective justice. Let me say that. Did you guys hear that? Anger, when we have anger, it does not guarantee effective justice, you guys. It can cloud our judgment and even hinder rational decision making. That's why I always tell anybody that's worried, if your emotions are at a high state, do not respond, do not text, do not email, do not call. It's the worst time to have a conversation. Use the anger that we have to create the change you want. Now, true righteousness, you guys, requires a calm and composed demeanor. Because when we approach conflicts with a clear mind and an open heart, we can better understand the root causes and work towards constructive solutions. Let me just say this. Justice planted in compassion can lead to healing with transformation. Justice planted in compassion can lead to healing and transformation. There's always the good. There's always the evil. In other words, just because we do everything perfectly doesn't mean we're safe from all danger. It's just not going to happen. Now, and I know this is frustrating, and here's the relief that I want to share with you, is no matter how wrong you've been or how right you are, by seeking an understanding to others' motives and experiences, we address the underlying issue and foster a path to resolution and reconfigurement. So, moreover, embracing non-anger driven justice enables us to break the retaliation cycle. Reacting with anger often perpetuates hostility, leaving the room. Gosh, this was me. Years ago, I had to go through counseling. It was actually mediation with my daughter's mom. And I walked out because my anger got the best of me. And I left with no understanding of empathy. And when we do that, we need to reflect, understand, because in contrast, responding with compassion and kindness can ease tensions and pave the way for mutual healing and growth. Bear with me on the studio here, guys. This is kind of going to be it for just temporary purposes. I got a new move that just happened, so bear with me on that. I want to give some of you listeners a challenge today. And this challenge is to rise above our instinctive reactions and tap into our capacity for empathy and forgiveness. Because when we can truly replace anger with love and understanding, we lay the foundation of transformative change. This podcast is the absolute heart to what I do for people. And when we can swap anger for love, this will empower us to respond more effectively to challenging situations and then pave the way for lasting and meaningful relationships with others, and even if it's not with that particular person that has so much hatred, so much resentment to you, it's going to help you. Can we change others? No, we cannot. Can we pray for others? We certainly can. Can we control ourselves? We sure can. We also can control how we react to those specific situations. Are we going to allow ourselves to give them the energy? When they wanted that energy, they took the power back from you. Is that what you want? In the next segment here, it's called The Illusion of Control. And as humans, we have the power to both heal and really destroy ourselves internally. We risk living in perpetual anxiety and perceived danger when we dwell on potential future failure. So stop it. There are two. Let me give you an example here. We are driving on the road. There's one big window. That's the windshield. Then there's that small rear mirror. That's behind us. The mirror is behind you. What did you learn from it? What did you gain from it? So instead of, and then the windshield in front of us is for that moment, that journey, one step at a time. So instead of enjoying peace, our body goes into what I call a fight or flight response. This response floods us with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, preparing us to face or run from danger. How many is that? You? Me? Raising your hand, right? Modern life, filled with constant pressures and uncertainties, can trigger it more frequently than necessary and cause various physical and emotional health issues. I actually broke this down in just a module that I just sent to one of my clients. As a result of stress, here's what the consequences are, you guys. Immune system disturbance, chronic disease, metabolic disorders, respiratory system problems, decreased fertility, and diseases of reproductive organs. Does that sound like fun to you guys? Ultimately, living in a fight or flight response daily leads to mental problem and kills our interest in life. We don't want to go to the house. So why can we not relax and enjoy instead? Here's why. We're too focused on ourselves. Yes, do we have to fill ourselves up first in order to be good for others? Yes, but here's what I mean. We need to earn security by working hard and following the expectations. And this is not how the world really works, you guys. All successful people would feel confident and calm. Unfortunately, can we predict the future? We cannot. Let me give you this example. There's a supermodel called Cameron Russell. Worries about her body despite her recognized beauty and does not feel protected. The truth is that money, beauty, and fame, guess what, cannot give us peaceful life because we know that one day it's gone. Even though we hope not to fail, the mere thought of this possibility makes us anxious and even nervous. When we can truly remind ourselves that nothing in the world, you guys, belongs to us, that is the moment you will feel free. When you come to that realization that nothing in this world belongs to us, you will live a more purposeful, fulfilling life, and you will feel free. Because security and peace are only possible when we are ready to lose everything. It means we shouldn't get attached to things and place and specific places. We can feel relieved when we accept our powerlessness. Yes, we can dream and hope for the best, live the most best purposeful life. However, we must remember that some things are beyond our control. What we can do is choose inner peace. If we cannot influence our future, there is no reason to actually worry. However, we can take care of our today and make it beautiful. We never have a bad day. We have a bad moment. We have a bad hour. We control our day. Now, Did you know this? Check this out. This is an interesting, crazy statistics that I want to share with you guys. 78% of Americans reported feeling stressed due to, drum roll please, the COVID-19 pandemic. What you say is what you become. My next segment, as I transition, love is the only reason. And here's what I mean. You may be right 1,000 times. And maybe your argument is the most convincing. However, what did it cost you if you don't carry along love? None of our pursuits or victories matter or solve anything if we act out of anger. Only love is the driving force that can truly change people's hearts and fill them with meaning, success, purpose. And if it's easy to accept and love those who are similar to us and have the same life values as us, accepting someone different from us can be challenging. I know personally, because it requires sacrifice, self-denial, and it's often a very lonely journey. I want to share the story of a friend of mine who found the strength to overcome beliefs and accepted others as who they are. After meeting a man who showed open hostility towards her, this person, because of her racist views, she overcame her hatred and forgave him. Now, mind you, this person was an African-American person. She would have chosen another path and justified her anger. However, she used the healing power of love, which filled not only her heart, but also that of that hostile man that had that towards her. They embraced and understood that they had become each other's lesson of what? The transformative power of kindness. When we have the opportunity of living an unoffendable life, that doesn't mean suppressing our emotions or being passive. What it means is viewing them through the lens of love, you guys. Now it's going to sound maybe trivial, however, but we must forgive ourselves to accept others. We are not perfect by any means. In fact, I just had this conversation with a client. We are imperfectly perfect. We're going to make mistakes. We often make mistakes and even hurt others, but here's the thing. Our Creator loves us who we are. And that is why we must find a place in our hearts for those who do not meet our expectation. Because, you guys, love liberates us from attempting to change or control others and allows us to embrace the beauty of diversity and individuality. Get a quick drink here. It's also a powerful tool for inner transformation. When we extend love and compassion to ourselves, what we do is we create a space for personal growth and self-acceptance. So when we give up the self-blame game, oh, it's my fault, we make more room in our hearts for other people and inspire them by example. So stop saying, oh, this is all my fault, because self-denial opens up a life filled with peace and joy. When we give up the right to superiority, we can finally stop fighting. Just be. It was a great, had a great guest on a few weeks ago. If you check that out, Tony Jalen. And he said one of his words that he used each year is just be. Because that's when we can love life the best we can. That's what it's about, you guys. As I conclude, I want to bring this all together, and I hope this really resonated with you guys today. There are many reasons to feel offended. There are many reasons to feel anger, especially daily, right? Oh, the garbage man didn't pick up, or they left the garbage cans laying down. However, we choose how to react. You want to free yourself from resentment? You want to free yourself, from anger? You can. Here's how. Discover new horizons by letting go of expectations and accepting reality for what it is. Choose inner peace instead of anxiety to transform the world around us. Embrace forgiveness, humility, love, and find joy amidst life's uncertainties. See the world with realistic eyes. Foster a genuine connection free from judgment and self-righteousness. This podcast is almost even for me as well today as I reflect on this because, gosh, judging is tough. Why is that person? You go to the grocery store, you see all this food in their grocery store and they're extremely obese. So then the judging thing goes into place. Love. Love is the answer. Discover the strength of selflessness and to heal and reconcile through a servitude heart, a quality heart. Because we must remember that inoffensive life is not a destination. It's a day-to-day practice. It means we must choose love over judgment, compassion over irritation, and understanding over resentment. After all is said and done, it's worth it. It's worth it. When we can truly let go of anger, which allows us to discover the true purpose and meaning of our life, this will then trust the universe to be an observer who does not adjust reality but accept it as it is. So let us carry these insights into our everyday existence, you guys, becoming beacons of empathy, of love, of light. Because as we embody these crucial principles, not only do we inspire others to do the same, we also create a wave of positivity that transforms other people's lives. Be the person that people want to be around. Be that magnet. Be that happy train. Because together we can build a more harmonious and compassionate world, and it just takes you. Little us, right? Because leaving a legacy of peace and unity for generations from time to go. So I hope truly this podcast resonated with you, and if you could be so kind to share it with a friend or give us a rating, that helps us and allows us to get more sponsors as well. So the next time you're feeling all of this stuff that I talked about, the resentment, the anger, overwhelmingness, do this. Start by consciously giving up the right to be offended in your daily interactions. When faced with a potential offense, pause and choose empathy and understanding over anger or resentment. As you go out throughout your day today, take moments of stillness and mindfulness. Release the illusion of control to surrender to the flow of life. Also, critically evaluate your deepest beliefs and begin to see others' point of view. You can also cultivate gratitude. Even when things don't seem to be going well, give thanks for waking up that day and how joy actually feels in your heart. I truly hope that this podcast resonated with you. You can control the controllables. The control is how you react to something, how you respond. Is it out of anger or is it out of love? Friends, as always, 1% better in mind, body, and soul, and always stay flexed.